and thanks for tuning in. I'm Corey, and today we're gonna work on making a little CDN in Rust. Hey TCP stream, how's it going? I'm doing good, how about you? Thanks for tuning in on this Sunday afternoon. We're gonna do something that came up in a YouTube comment recently. I was asking for suggestions on things, and someone asked for working on a CDN in Rust, so we're gonna play around with that today, I think. So I got prepared a little bit yesterday. Look at that. It's always good when I am prepared for stream. And I did two things. First, I wrote this little requirements doc, which I think will just help us, get started and figure out what we're working on today with the CDN. And then I wrote a slow server, a fake slow server that we're going to use, because a CDN, or content delivery network, is all about speeding up a site, caching the results and stuff like that. Ours is going to be a proxy style CDN where it makes requests to our origin server, our real server, and then serves them to the user, all cached and everything. So we're going to work on that today. So we're going to build a CDN that can serve cached content to our users. And so I wrote out a few things here, some requirements. We want it to be stateless. We're going to use the file system to cache content and store any state we need, maybe in SQLite. But if all this is lost, we should be able to rebuild it. So none of the state should be like any configuration stuff. We're going to probably write in code or environment variables or something like that, instead of having it be stored in state on the server. Wow, thank you for the sub TCP stream. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. For 6 months in advance. That is amazing. Thank you. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, and thanks for coming out on stream. I'm glad you caught it live today as well. Oh, we got all kinds of notifications. I like it. Yes, we're going to try to make this stateless. Since I wrote this doc, the only thing that we might do, we're still going to do it in SQLite, and it's still going to be, throw it awayable. But I think what we might end up doing is we might try with the, LightFS. Yeah, the new file stream backed SQLite that, it replicates to multiple things and everything, powered by fly.io. Which is where we're planning on deploying this. So I think we'll end up trying to set that up for some SQLite, and we'll get to that in a minute. Oh, I'm glad you are appreciating the videos. I'm glad you found them and are enjoying them. And I just appreciate you. It's funner to make videos and do these streams when people are hanging out and I know they're enjoying it. So thanks for coming along. So this is going to be an opt-in caching thing, so it's definitely, the idea here is that we're going to proxy all requests through the CDN and then just cache the ones that opt into caching. So I think this is going to be we're probably not going to do it for my blog, because I'm going to do my blog a little different. I'm not going to put my blog behind this CDN, but if we imagine that I did, what I think we're going to do is we're going to point the full domain, so like coreyja.com, that full domain, we're going to point to the CDN. And then the CDN will forward every request to my origin server and cache the ones that make sense. This is as opposed to maybe just serving my scripts and styles and stuff from the CDN, and caching those and maybe images and stuff and sending, normal content not through the CDN. I think that's just a little more complicated than I like. I like, everything goes in one direction. We just cache what we want to and just proxy the rest. And if we put the CDN stuff close to where the actual servers live, that proxy step probably isn't going to be a big deal. And if you just had one origin anyways, it's kind of just routing from our CDN that's hopefully closer to you as edge locations kind of style, to the origin server. So we're gonna work on that today. So we're gonna opt into caching with the cache control headers. I think I actually found a nice crate that we can use in Rust that will understand the cache control headers. So we'll talk about them a bit, but we're not going to dive too deep into the semantics of them, I think, which is going to be nice. Maybe we'll make a follow-up video on cache control headers and how they all work, if that's interesting to everyone. But basically, if it's set to no cache, we're not going to cache the content. If it's set with a max age, we'll cache it for however long it says. And if it's not set, we're going to default to not caching the content. So the idea here is it's safe to put anything behind the CDN and it doesn't cache things that you don't explicitly opt into. So yeah, our deployment plan, we're going to deploy to as many edge locations as is reasonable in our budget. Like, so Fly is probably who we're going to deploy with. We might try to get some DigitalOcean set up if we want to go in multi-cloud just to be fun. But for today, we're definitely probably going to do fly.io. So we're going to do as many locations as possible, and that's kind of the CDN style here. The only thing that really makes this a CDN in my view is that we're going to deploy it to multiple locations. Besides that, it would just be like a caching proxy. And we're not going to do this on any serverless thing. We're going to do it on infra that approximates a VPS. We want like an actual file system that we can interact with and things like that. So that is the plan for deployment. And I guess the other thing that I didn't really write yesterday, so let's write it out right now, is I want to also have this do one thing that feels CDN-y. And this is like nodes. Like, I don't know. What do I want to title this? This is maybe just a requirement. Nodes should share knowledge about pages that exist to be cached. And what I mean for this is I think one of the features that'll make this actually more CDN-y rather than just proxy caching. So when a node gets a request for a page that it does not have cached, it should ask the other nodes. No, we're not going to have them ask the other nodes. It should fetch page from the origin server and cache it, and then it should notify the other nodes that the page exists. Exactly. Thank you, Copilot. So what we're going to do is, the idea is, you know, we'll maybe if we have 3 of these deployed, maybe we'll even have more, right? And a user near one, so let's say we have one on the East Coast and one on the West Coast in the US. We'll do 2 right now. Nice and easy. East and West Coast. If someone on the East Coast asks for my homepage and I don't have that in the cache yet, and it's a cacheable resource, I'll fetch it, cache it in the East, and then send a message to West, or some communication style. Send something to the other sides so that they can know that this page exists, and they can check if they have it cached and cache it if they don't. I want all of them to know about all the pages that exist and like hydrate their cache with that knowledge, so that that's what I think is going to be the CDN, the delivery network. I know that's really more, I think CDN really refers to delivering it to end users, but I also think a CDN that just caches based on requests, like if I put an edge location somewhere far away and one visitor goes to use my site near that edge location and it's slow for them because everything has to fetch from the origin, that's a little sad. And like, then they could have just had a cache on their browser. It wouldn't have been better for me to be doing this. So I feel like to give it that real CDN feel and make it fast for everyone, we should like basically push out new pages that exist to everyone. So that's the idea behind this sharing knowledge bit. Add sharing to README requirements. Awesome. And then let's take a look at this slow server. This is nice and easy. I worked on this a few days ago just to get it nice and set up. So we now have something set up on localhost. We head on over to localhost. We see this. A nice simple, hey, I'm a simple app that's slow to respond. I have a few routes that behave differently. The route is the only route that responds without any waiting. So if you notice, like going to the localhost 3000 is quick, but now if I click on, let's do fast, and we wait a second, then it finally renders and we get the current time. So if we refresh, we can see that it'll update the current time, but it waits a while from me clicking refresh to it actually happening. And then slow is the same thing, but it takes 5 seconds. And there we go. Nice. So the reason for these is these are going to simulate a site that you might want to put behind our CDN or our caching proxy, so that, you know, we can tell it to cache these routes with the headers, which we haven't added to this app yet, but we will on stream. And then the idea is that we'll get a cached response for these routes and not actually have to wait the 5 seconds. And that's why I put the timestamps here. The timestamps are going to like, we're going to use these to tell us like when the request came from, to see that our cache is like actually caching. Okay, so let's take a look at slow server. It's really easy. It's just a normal Axum server, which if you have seen my videos and streams before, that's what I've been using for most things. And it's using Maud for markup. which again is what I've been using for most things. So Axum gives us the server, and we have the routes from Axum. So we have the 3 routes: the root, slow, and fast. Hey Opus, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. We're working on a caching proxy CDN thing in Rust, which I think is fun today. So we're actually just hopping through a slow server implementation that I worked on that we'll use as an example of something that we might want to cache and make it faster. So here's my template for the root. Nothing exciting. We're just using Moud to write some divs and paragraph tags and links. We're using Tailwind for styles, but just because it was easy. And then we have our slow and fast. This is like the meat of the demo here. The slow route just sleeps for 5 seconds and then renders, and the fast one does 1 second and then renders. Nice and easy, quick and simple demo app. Awesome. So we need to go ahead and make our CDN now, I think. So we're gonna add our CDN to the list in our cargo workspace. I've realized that I actually like doing that before I do cargo new, just because then it doesn't give me the warning here and everything just works. Yeah, now it's like, oh yeah, I know CDN's gonna go in the workspace, and it just plops it in the workspace and everything's happy. So now I'm in CDN, which is a little weird, but that's okay. Ooh, anyone on stream, if you got a better name for what we can call this CDN, like this is going to be the server that runs our CD anything, let me know. For now, it's just going to be called CDN though. Okay. We're just going to commit the cargo new package here. I'm on main. Yeah, we're just going to run on get main for now. We really could make a branch and do that, but like this is the beginning of a project. There's not a reason, and it's a single person project. So we're just gonna roll with main for the moment. Okay. Initial commit of the CDN. Opus says, I'm super sleepy, haven't been sleeping super amazing, and had to wake myself up with a timer for a meeting. Oh, that's no fun. No fun to have to wake yourself up. Ooh, I like that suggestion. 1 sec. Yeah, no fun to have to wake yourself up for a meeting there, Opus. Sorry to hear that. Hopefully you get some good sleep these next few nights and feel better. And then here, what's the suggestion? Ooh, C-A-J-E. How would you pronounce that? Cage? Cage? I'm gonna pronounce it Cage. Is that for... Where'd you come up with that? I'm trying to figure out if that's a C-J-A for my branding reference. It has the letters, but I'm not sure. What happens if I just type that into Google? Oh no, nothing. We get some coffee roasters. That's fun. I like coffee. But I like it. Let's do it. So I probably actually, you know, this is the easiest way to do it. We're just gonna start over. And by that I just mean we're gonna remove this directory. We're gonna go in here. I already did that. Perfect. We're just gonna redo cargo new and make the new thing. Yeah, anagramish. I love it. Perfect. It's great. I was kind of hoping that when you said it at first, you know, it's so close there. So I love it. Let's roll with that. Use the Cage name, and I'm gonna pronounce it, I think, Cage at the moment. And if we find a better pronunciation for cache, yeah, cache, Cage, yeah, no, that's perfect. I love this. That's amazing. Thank you, TCP stream. That's an awesome name. Okay, so we're gonna go with Cage or cache. No, I know it's a pun on cache, but it feels like it wants to be pronounced Cage, so we're gonna go with Cage. Okay, so let's go into that. And let's cargo add some things. We're gonna want Tokyo with the full features. Really could probably figure out what features of Tokyo I actually want, but I've always used full. And for these kind of simple things, it's kind of perfect for me. Cargo, features. Cargo add Axum, and Moud. Cargo add might with features fancy. Oh, I did Moud, but I need Moud with features. For Axum. Wait, do I actually need Moud? Am I rendering HTML ever? This caching thing is probably not rendering HTML. No Moud. Oh, let's do Saturday. Ugh, there's drama in Saturday land that I don't know if I really have a lot of opinions to weigh in on, so I probably won't on stream. If you're interested to chat about the drama in that land, head on over to my Discord, and I would love to chat offline about that. You can find links to my Discord in my Twitch and GitHub profiles. But for today, we're gonna stick with Saturday. It's really the only option at the moment, but maybe we'll see some movement on that, unfortunately, in the next few days here. Opus, sorry I missed your message before. You've been ending up working a bit on documentation and the site design for a bunch of streamer bots I mentioned. Finally found a front-end framework that I don't need to deal with CSS. Oh, nice. What front-end framework are you using that doesn't have to deal with CSS? Yeah, Opus, if you have escaped without hearing about the drama so far, that's awesome. It hasn't been too awful. But yeah, there's some Saturday drama around pre-compiled proc macros. And supply chain stuff as it relates to that. So you know, it'll all work itself out. But never the most fun when everything gets drama-y. Okay, let's just steal the body of this. None of it's gonna make sense. Oh, tracing subscriber. I like that. Cargo add tracing and tracing subscriber. We're just gonna have a root route for the moment, but that's really just to test this. We're gonna end up like not having any of this. Import router, import get, import socket address. And actually, we're going to need to change this port, so let's do 3001 just to do it. Let's make a async function called root that doesn't take anything, and it returns anything that impulls into response. That'll work. Copilot, or kinda. There we go. Did it import into response? Yes, it did. Awesome. Viewtify. It's material, unfortunately, but later on I should be able to add my own styles. Interesting. I think the drama is a good sign. It comes from the widespread adoption of any language. Yeah, like I think we'll move in the right direction from here. I think I'm not super involved. I don't have any inside information. I'm just in a Discord with some people that were talking about it recently. But I think it's gonna be good in the end. It's gonna push either to a new thing and maybe better than Saturday, if people get inspired, or it'll push on the proc macro stuff, and maybe we'll see a better way to handle compiled proc macros or something like that. But just interesting at the moment. We'll see how it all plays out. Not that deep into any programming community. Most of them are oddly toxic and filled with a lot of people who just stir things up for no reason, so I rarely hear about drama unless it's like the Rust Foundation fucking shit up. Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, and I think that's probably fair to not be into the dramas too much, because like you said, they're never they're not always overly productive. I shouldn't say never. But you know, they can definitely not be productive. But I agree with you, TCP stream, it's growing pains a little bit, right? Okay. Cargo run. I think this should give us a Axum server that we can at least curl against. Split it. Oh, I think I need to go back to Tmux for my Yay! Okay. Awesome. Nice and easy. Okay, so let's see how we want to do this. So I think how I'm gonna end up wanting to do this is I think I'm gonna want some domains set up. Ooh, I didn't think about that. I could have done some computer setup ahead of time to make sure that I can route some local domains nicely. I don't have. Do I like through DNS? Do I have any? I have. Ooh, what's LDNS? LDNS. So I'm trying to figure out low-level DNS options. Yeah, that's not what I would want for this. Okay, so what I'm thinking, I got ahead of myself here. Now we're at a point where this cache, cage, cache, man, it's such a, we're gonna play with the pronunciation. Cache is a better pronunciation though. But really what it needs to do is it needs to be a proxy, right? So I think we'll set it up as that first, and then we'll figure out how we want to like store the configuration and all that, and then add caching. Opus, I'm still glad I ended up making a proc macro for coercing enum types into response types with Axum. With how I handle errors personally, it makes my life so much easier. It's fairly limited, but I don't need to do anything else personally. Oh, that would be fun. I'd love to take a look at that sometime, Opus. If you want to maybe share that in well, either here or in Discord, I think I might take a look off stream. But that sounds fun. I really like Axum, and I like into response. Without knowing your use case at all, for coercing enum types into response. Nope, I lied. I am going to look at it on stream. I'm too interested. We're going to take a look. Let's see if this copy paste worked. It did. Axum enum response. I guess I want an example first, just because I want to see it used real quick. So you just derive enum into response. Oh, okay, I got you here. And then you can just give it some status codes. There's some extra stuff you can give on the enums. Gotcha. And is this mostly for errors, for error enums? Is that the idea, right? You can define error enums and just return them nice and easy like that with the macro. Nice. I like that. Yeah, it's hard to read proc macros just off the cuff, but I'm pretty confident and that's what it's doing. Yeah, that's awesome though. I like that. Yeah, that is nice. I like that a lot because I end up just, well, actually, I don't even like know what the status code is. I think it just returns a 200 by default, right? Because I do end up doing this a lot where I just do like a result of an into response and a result of an into response. And I think if I do the error here, that's really funny. It doesn't know the types here. That's kind of funny. It couldn't figure out the impl because I never was ever returning anything successfully. That's kind of funny. I wasn't expecting that. Local, oops, not that at all. Localhost 3001. Yep. What status code was that? 200? Yeah, see, so it still does 200. So I would want something like your solution, at least to wrap it. I found myself writing a lot of that manually in a large project. It gets annoying when trying to just iterate super fast. Yeah, totally. Just chatting, but I think that's one of the things that I want to think about and don't have a solution for. I think it's a little bit of a hairy problem, but I think proc macros are great because they allow you to write better syntax and prototype faster, but like they do make things slower, and I think that's just kind of really interesting. That's actually really where the whole Saturday drama comes from. So I think it's a really interesting thing, though I guess I don't think it makes it that much slower that it's useful to worry about. But I think it can make it harder to understand, right? Because they can just do so much magic that from reading code, it can be harder to see. Like, you know, what this Tokyo main does is not overly obvious just from reading it, unless you know what Tokyo main is doing. But that's just about magic in any language. That's absolutely not specific to Rust, and sometimes hiding things behind magic is great. Okay, let's actually get back to what I think we want to do here. So we're going to set up a proxy. And I think I'm gonna be bad at the moment and set up some constants. Proxy. Well, I guess I want to. Yeah, cart go expand is really, really nice for figuring out what's going on with those. I used that to debug Maud on another stream a few weeks back, and it was really, really nice. Okay, so proxy from domain. well, that works. Oh, .might.1. Yeah, that's a funny one. So I said domain, so not going to include that. Localhost 3000. Oh no, that's the domain. So we're gonna actually make a slow.coreyja.test. Because it's not a real domain, but we're gonna use it to fake it in curl. Proxy 2 domain. This one is gonna be proxy origin domain. I like origin domain better. This will be localhost 3000 because we're gonna run the proxy. We're gonna run cache. Yeah, I like cache. We're gonna call it cache. So we're going to take things that look like they're going to slow.coreyja.test, but end up at our cache server, and we're going to proxy them to localhost 3000. So one thing that we actually want to do here is axum route all requests. Actually, I think we're going to want an axum fallback handler instead, because we just want all requests. Axum fallback handler. See what that looks like. Fallback. Is it just you just provide a fallback? Yeah, you just provide a fallback. Cool. So I really just want this to be whoa. Fallback. Proxy. Oh, handler proxy. That's a pretty cool thing. I like that. That's not what I want right now though. Proxy request. And let's just make a async function proxy request. Make it take nothing. And it goes to a result of a string. No, with a response to something that impulse into response. Let's see if Copilot just did this right at all. So it wants to use request. That's fine. We can use request under the hood. Cargo add request. We are going to want to make sure that this does the right type of SSL. I don't remember which one of those I want. Request Rust TLS. What do I have to do that? Yeah, system native is what it does by default, but I don't want that. I want this one. So let's go to here. Request version equals that. Default features equals false. I don't want blocking, but I want that. Oh, I didn't actually have the false there. That's not how you spell false. Much better. So is that better? I hope that worked. Okay. Type alias. Yeah. Okay, so what? Wonder if request dealt with their little DOS problem yet. You couldn't set a max content length, so if you just kept feeding it content. Oh, yeah. I think I heard about that a little bit, but I didn't ever dig into it too much. So if you just kept feeding it content for forever, yeah, it would just like, yeah, I do remember that. I wonder too. Yeah, and that's another thing. We're not gonna make, at least at the moment, we're definitely not gonna worry about making this very like production grade. Like, you know, we're gonna trust our origin server not to misbehave, and stuff like that. So we're gonna give this a shot. Okay, so what if I just say something that impulse into response? Huh. Cargo build. See what the error message says. Oh, a max timeout instead of a max content length. Yeah, I guess that actually is probably a little better, right, for that type of thing. Yeah, I am a little surprised too. It feels like request is the one that is people have settled on. I don't know. Do you think that is fair? Um, the trait HTTP body is not implemented for the following other types implemented. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no, that doesn't say bytes. Okay, phew. I thought this said the same thing. Okay, so the bytes doesn't implement the right thing. Response dot bytes. Okay, so what is our response here? Yeah. And what is the response here? Response of a box body. What if I do that? Oh, well. Oh, what if I just like tell it to go into? Yeah. Convert a body into a boxed body. So we can call boxed on it. But I'm not sure that is gonna work for this, but I definitely can try it. Yep. So now we get the trait bound is not satisfied. Yeah, so it's the same thing we got before. Body. So like, but we do have just a body type, right? Oh, from response. Is that a thing? No. Okay. It just hallucinated that. That's fine. It's just kind of hilarious. To read it, what if I want to make a body? A good default, a stream of bytes used when receiving bodies. Okay. Is when you heard about the max age thing when someone was making an active pub server, or when you heard about request in general, Opus? So I just want to make, okay, cool, kind, once. What is a kind? Okay, okay. I like that. Where was kind? Okay, yeah, so these are about streams. Okay, okay. So I think I can do body new kind once some this. That. Let body equals that. Oh, really? New is private? Gosh darn it, didn't pay attention to that. No, oh, empty is fine. Wrap stream. So like, okay, let's just look at the docs for this. How can I look at the docs for this? Exum body. Something I was super surprised at is there doesn't seem to be a maintained Elasticsearch library, though most I saw was a type request builder, which is way better than nothing, I guess. Oh, like a Elasticsearch, like client kind of library thing. Yeah. I think the client libraries in Rust are interesting because like sometimes all I really want is the types and I want to plug in my own client, so that ends up being like what I like a lot, but it is very interesting. Yeah, body's a trait. Of course body's a trait. That makes sense. How do I just make Yeah, I have some bytes. How do I make this a body from them? That's interesting. Axum, create response. Yeah, but like, how do I use you better? It doesn't feel like this was super helpful. So like, can I just do this? Is this like kind of what they want me to do? I can just do... Okay, this is an integral response. Okay, so okay of a thing where we just want like, yeah, that. A tuple of things. Status code header map. So like, what are the tuples? Parts. Into response parts, into response. Yeah, so like, what is the, how do I, like, parts? What is parts? Oh, okay. So I can make a parts. That would work. Let parts. Parts for response. Sure. Wait, what is that? Oh yeah. Okay. What are you? Okay, let's add a to do so this thing stops being really upset with me. Oh, expected a parts found a response. Yeah, it's just saying it doesn't know how to make a parts from nothingness. Okay. The following other types implement. What is this into response thing? Oh, it's mad about this. Everything's just upset with me. Oh my gosh. Okay. I ended up going for ClickHouse over Elasticsearch anyways. It has advantages. Yeah, I think I wonder. Yeah, I would try something else besides Elasticsearch at the moment too, just for trying different things. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, exactly. Right. Who needs the most battle tested thing, kinda? It can definitely ingest data fast, small. Oh, nice, nice. I like that. Those are some big data sets. No, I have not seen those videos TCP stream. Decrusting Axum. I like that name though. Um, I bet they would help me figure out this part. This is something in Axum that I haven't figured out super duper well yet. Is the right way to like just create more complicated arbitrary responses. And I'm imagining that that stream would be helpful for that. Axum into response. We're gonna see how much I can hobble along with just some docs today, but maybe I'll have to read up on some videos here soon or something like that. For status code, I don't think this is something debug, because I think debug handler is more about getting the like when you have different params that you want it to parse out, getting those right, and that's not what I'm doing. This also isn't right. I guess we're always gonna proxy the root at the moment, which is just completely wrong, but we're gonna not think about that at the moment. I just need, so some of these start with parts, which I could create. Oh, I could just maybe make an empty parts. Uh, parts. Which parts is this? Empty? Empty? Yeah, I like empty. No, 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 no. Is empty a thing? Or are you just compiling that to me? No, it doesn't have that. That's okay. Oh, and these things must exist. Okay, so I don't want to start with a parts because those exist already on a parts. So not of that one. I can start with status code. Okay, but like these ones I feel like should, right? Into response parts. Yeah, like this. Into response parts. Oh, it's because this status is not at all what I want. Request the status code. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. Okay. What's the status code type here? This one, status code. Let Axum status equals status code. I don't want the one from, oh yeah, well, oh, this is just from HTTP. Oh, is that, oh, I see, I just need to add HTTP as a direct dependency. Cargo add HTTP. It's now status code can come from HTTP, which is where I want it to come from. There we go. And I wonder, Axum exports HTTP? It probably does, doesn't it? So I probably could have just gotten this from Axum HTTP. Wonder why that didn't come up. And why this linked directly to the HTTP thing. Yeah, they're linking directly to theirs, not to a re-export, but that could just be a linking issue. Did Axum status work? I think so. Is not satisfied. Axum. What's interesting? Axum body bytes. I think just because request and them are both using the same types under the hood, stuff just kind of works. But it's interesting because I never... What bytes method is this? Yeah, this is a hyper. This is returning a hyper thing. I'm just worried... An owned header map, maybe. It could want an owned header map. Wow. Well, now it's having a different error, but... It needs to know the error thing here. Oh, that's fair because I'm doing this, which I can't do if I want to return an error type like that. A static string. Where this is really like map error. We're just gonna like map the error to nothing. Ah, I cannot type. Request failed. This is awful, but like we would actually want to send this through as well or something. I'm not sure what we'd want to do here, but not this. And yeah, apparently I just wanted an owned header map. That was not what I was expecting, to be honest. Because into response already clones other things, I'm like pretty positive. So that was a little interesting. A nice call, Opus. Yeah, that definitely could have been better, and I think that's part of how into response just implements it for all of these like tuples. It's really convenient if you get it right and you know, but it's too much magic to get a good error message. And there probably is a builder. I really would just like the builder for the response, right? Like just set the things and just use a builder style API here. Also, let's figure out, was this relevant? Or did that just... Uh-oh. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, copy it. Don't get rid of that. No, this had nothing to do with it. I think that was the same type. I don't even really think I needed to do that. Okay, let's clean up some stuff here. Oh man, I was really hoping that was going to do more of these. That's okay. Remove all unused imports. Remove the unnecessary braces. Okay, all that's now added is the proxy from domain. Okay, so the thing that I didn't do here is, like, I should take the whole request in. Like, let's look at the fallback here. Axum, routing, fallback. It can get the URI. That's actually really all I wanted. But I also do want other things besides that, like handling all requests without other routes. Yeah, you just do a fallback right away. Yep. Cool. But I want a route that just... Oh, do I want to make it generic? No. Maybe? So I could make this generic against body, and then this is a request of body for anything. Oh, and that'll work. Cargo run. Okay. And then if I want to split that and go out to my slow server, cargo run here. Okay. And then do I want to split it again? Do I want another? Curl local host 3001. Oh, yeah. Because I still actually have that route. Let's get rid of that. Oh, well, actually, I guess I can just do this /123 because it doesn't matter. That proxied that route correctly. That's exactly what I wanted that to do. Okay. Awesome. Okay, we're making a little bit of progress here. But I definitely want to do this so that it actually always does that. Okay. So now let's actually, okay, let's get rid of the root and let's make this proxy at least URLs correctly. Let URL, URI, it doesn't matter. Yep. URI dot host. Okay, so if URI dot host if it equals that, unwrap or false, yeah. So if it is the right thing, yeah, okay, so because I want the opposite here, because I just want to do return error invalid host. Really I want this to say this from domain thing, I'm gonna have to fake that. Okay, that's okay. Specified domain. Yep, we can only proxy request from the specified domain. That's perfect. CDN complete, basically. Yeah, right? We can proxy requests. We're done. We're done. There's no cache. It's fine. It's great. Well, to be fair, right? The CDN just delivering content, that is pretty complete. It's not a good CDN, right? It doesn't do anything helpful with the content, but hey, getting content alone is something. Okay, so we're only doing ones for the specified domain, which does mean I'm going to have to do the curl trick to set the header for domain, but that's totally reasonable. I can especially do that in curl. And then, so then URI dot, like, path, right? Perfect. Path and query. Well, path and query, what does it give me? I want to, like, look at more information about that. Oh, an option of a path and query. Thank you. And a path and query is data. Can you just go back to a string from static slash? Those ones are just giving path. Yeah, so we can get to a path. Okay. Let path equals URI to path and query dot map path and query dot path is what I want to call on it. Unwrap or that'll work for me. This is path. This, let's do the other way of putting it in the format. Okay. Close down cache, start it up again. I'm probably gonna want to do something so I don't have to start these up individually, but that's, oh yeah, that's fine. They can stay here and I can just have this over here. That'll work. Curl local host 3001. We can only process requests from subdomain. Perfect. Okay. Curl with domain. Resolve. Provide a custom address for a specified host and port pair. I find it interesting that you use bash on OS X considering the default is ZSH. I'm just too lazy to switch. Yeah, I've been using bash since before they switched. And so I did not want to, and I had like a pretty complicated, well, I still do, I just don't have quite as much, I set complicated bash RC and stuff like that, and everything was all set up with bash, so I just didn't want to do something different. So that's where we're at. That's why we ended up here. So if I do that, and then I tell it to resolve that to localhost 3000. Well, in one, right? Because that's the whole point here. Okay. Oh, okay. For some reason, you put the port before that, which is not something I've ever seen before. Dang it. Oh, domain.tld. Yeah, that's what I have. Oh, 80. Wait a second. Yeah, those are just those. Could not parse curl opt resolve entry. So what if instead of, oops, didn't want to delete that whole thing. Couldn't resolve it. Okay. Well, like, didn't I tell you how to resolve it? You don't configure your shell at all, just got the portable shell configs, yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice to be able to flip between them. I like Ken for the most part because I don't do anything that's super duper fancy, but like I am just used to bash, so I do stick with it. I would love to try new shell more. Have you tried that for any like reasonable amount of time? It just seems like a cool solution. I also thought there was another way to do this where I could just set the header for domain. Yeah, that's what I was gonna do first, where you just set the host header to slow.coreyja.test. Though apparently this might not do what I want it to, it seems. Yeah. But let's also like oh, yeah, okay. Well, how about we make them strings? Formatting. Oh, we don't even have access to it here. Oh, gosh. Okay. Um, no. No, URI.host. Actually, so let's do this. Let's let some host equals URI.host else. Yeah, I like this. Return no host specified. Dot owned to owned. That'll work. That's what I wanted. Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of new shell. I've tried it like maybe for like a day one time, so I just never gave it enough of a chance to get into it really. But it seems really cool. I like how everything's more structured, which just seems like a really cool way to do it. If host equals that, this then is going to become a format. I'm not really sure why I'm doing these with strings. It's because I just don't want to found this. This is not this. This is host. Too many of those, I think. Oh, yeah, that's because I didn't want that. I want it if it doesn't equal. There we go. Okay. Let's cargo watch -x run. Slow server, I don't even think I need that on. I'm just not changing that one much. Yeah, okay, no host specified. So I think I really might need the resolve trick, which is pretty interesting. But it didn't work for me. Resolve domain.example. Yeah. So like that's exactly what I gave it here. Could not resolve host. But I told you how to resolve the host. That's the whole point of this. Provide a custom address for a specified host and port pair. Using this, you can make curl requests use a specified address and prevent the otherwise normally resolved address from being used. I love it. Host, port, address. But due to the limitations given, it means you need several entries if you want to provide addresses from the same host by different ports. Okay, so connect to. I think I want connect to. Connect to. Oh yeah. Okay. So host 1 at port 1 and then 127.0.0.1 at 3001. Oh, okay, but that at least made it to the right spot. Yeah, well, I just want to see. Oh, well, that wasn't supposed to go there. I just want to see the URI then. Yeah, it's just slash. Okay. So do I just want to use the host header? Let's just use the host header. That'll work. No host header specified, yeah. And then host, let's just rename that to host. Header value dot toString dot unwrap or unknown. Perfect. That's actually interesting. I have no idea. We can only found. Oh, hey. Found. Cool. What domain did I specify though? Yeah, okay. Dot, oh, well, I didn't want that there. Dot toString dot map error could not like parse host header or something. I think that'll work for me. This just becomes that, right? Yeah. Because now this is just a string. Yep. Expected. Yeah. What's going on? Yeah. Oh, I was using the wrong freaking one. This is the from domain. I wonder how long that's been my only issue. No, it hasn't been a while because the other URL thing wasn't working. Wow. So the host header's set when I do this curl thing. Oh, that's cool. That makes sense. Nice. Awesome. This is actually exactly what I wanted then. And if I make a request for a different thing, like fast, and I make this connect to thing. Nice. Love it. Okay, we're making progress now. So now I can do /slow 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. That's fine. It took a while. Yep. Awesome. Okay. I think I can do this. Yeah, that's fine. I don't. Yep. Mac OS, etc. hosts. Yeah. I think what I want to do, and then we're gonna do that. Okay, so this, and then the that. Okay, so 127.0.0.1 slow.coreyja.test. Oh, this is just gonna put it on 80 though, right? Which is not really what I want. But I can just add the port to it. I say without much confidence. We're gonna try it out. So the idea here then was now that I could just go to slow coreyja.test and I give it port 3001. Okay, cool. So that actually did work. It doesn't like that I have the port at the end though. Yep, we get that from there. That makes sense for sure. Let's debug out the URI though. So I want to see what we're getting. Yeah, we're just getting the URI is like just that. It doesn't have anything in it. Okay. Oh, but header value is not better than that. So is there like a host type? Oh, we can wait a second. I can extract the host. Host is a host that gets extracted, because I would definitely take that over what I'm doing. Yeah, like what do we have here? Oh. That's nice. Oh, no, slow. Yeah, no, that should be here. Oh, I left that out. Okay. But it didn't change anything. I think it's doing it the exact same thing, getting it from the host header, and this is just a string. But do I have any other methods then that I would like to use? No. HTTP Rust host name from port. I want to like separate them. Host header, yeah. Oh, where are we? We're in headers. Headers.rs. Interesting. Oh, it is in hyper. Okay, cool. Cool. The host header. Yeah. Why don't I have one of these? I want that instead. Host dot. Yeah. Oh, that's unfortunate. I want one of these things. The easiest thing is I could just freaking do this myself. Like, it's really, really not hard to just parse the freaking colon out. And it's probably what I'm just gonna do in a second. But I really want you hope it spilled a little bit of your drink, but remembered you got 0 cal 0 sugar drink mix, so it means it isn't sticky. Hey, that's awesome. Small wins like that, I'll take them, right? Okay. Let split equals host.0 split that collect vec. Yeah. I didn't really need the collect vec necessarily, but yeah, that's what I want. Let host name equals split at 0. Yeah. So then if this is host name, and actually I don't even really need the first. I don't even need split, really. It's fine. That's perfect. Okay. That's a proxy. Oh, cool. And then these are relative, so they also do the right thing. Slow is slow. Awesome. And this is all going through the proxy. Because we're hitting 3001. Love it. The drink syrups without sugar, they aren't really syrupy. Can be surprisingly good at 0 calories, 0 sugar, and how much I like to drink. It's super nice. That plus a soda stream basically makes me never want pop. I had a soda stream for a while and I couldn't get into it. I felt like they were more seltzery than soda-y, and I liked sodas too much, so it didn't really help me as much as I was hoping it would. I've been doing good if I just fill this with water. If it just sits on my desk, apparently I'll just drink it randomly. It's great. But if it's not here, I'll just completely forget about water altogether. Okay, we have a caching proxy. Or no, sorry, we don't have a caching anything. We got a proxy. So what does it not do? Headers. Doesn't forward any headers. Yeah, headers are definitely part of the thing that it doesn't do good on. Headers. Yeah, can I just pull these out of here? Headers. Nope. But I think I can probably just do header map. Wow. So it turns out when things just use hyper and everything just it's great. It just works. So this is now sending headers along too, and I didn't even do anything. One thing I'm not gonna handle at all is like streaming. We're just not gonna no streaming. We're gonna do full. Oh, well, actually, we're only doing gets right now too. Do I want to do that? No. I guess I don't really want to, right? Method is HTTP method. Can I extract that out of here? I hope so. Dot request method and URL, where URL is just this format. And so now it should even proxy posts for me. Wow. I didn't write any posts in my flow server, so I'm not really positive, but I think so. Nice. Okay. I like that. Yeah, it's more of a nice touch, I think, at this point for me, though I think it's super gross without any flavoring, just the carbonated water. Yeah, I don't like carbonated water at all. Reminds me of the time I got a Sprite where I didn't have any flavoring and just got really cheap sparkling water. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if there's not enough... Actually, I think I hate that worse, though. I think I'd actually rather have just a plain sparkling water than something that just has a very, very tiny hint of flavor. Which is why I don't like some seltzers, I think. Just not my favorite. I don't really like this format for the URL, so like let's make a URL like a better way. HTTP URL builder. Like there's gotta be something for this, right? I need a... Seriously? Yeah, HTTP URI builder. That's what I'm looking for. I was like, there's no way that it doesn't have something. Authority. Okay, yeah. Path and query. Path and query. I just pass that whole thing? No. When would path and query? Yeah, when it just can't. So how does toPath work? There's just a path method though. Yeah. Okay, so if it just returns nothing. Okay. Yeah, path and query dot unwrap or default. Oh, dang. Would have been so cool if that just implemented default. Or else. Wait. Okay, I was gonna say, is that a thing that I can just do? Path and query from static. Oh, cool. Can I just make an empty one though? Empty. Yep. Oh, that's private? Why is that private? That's so mean. Why would you make the empty... Why would you make this private? That's just so mean. Public to the super. Yeah, okay, so they can call it. I can't call it. Thanks. Yeah, and that's why none of these are documented. Got it. Okay. Well... I guess we'll use from static then. Oh, there we go. Dot map clone unwrap or else that. Perfect. Oh yeah. This is URL. We're changing it up. We're gonna use this built URL. Oh no. HTTP URI into URL. Wait, what? Oh. I assumed you could take a request URI. Seriously? That's annoying. Yeah, sparkling water's interesting. Everyone loves it, I feel like, though, but oh, nice. Gotta love a bolded paragraph in Slack, just kind of randomly. So like I can probably two-string this, but like I didn't. Okay. Okay. You know what? You know what? We're just gonna accept that. Yay! Seems like it's still working. Slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yay! And 17. Yeah, awesome. Okay. We are probably ready to add some caching. Quick cleanup. Okay, so I think we want to cache some stuff now. Yeah, paragraph 5 minutes after waking up making sense is pretty impressive for sure, right? Definitely doesn't always happen that way. Okay, so response. Yeah, okay, so all of this is functional, and I just want to add some caching. And I think for now, the kind of caching that we want to add is so I'm gonna add the cache control header logic later. We're just gonna go with always caching and then make it smart in a minute. Opus says, I know sometimes I'll reread things I sent and just be like, what were you trying to say? Yeah, right? It's worse when you read it over like immediately too, because it's like you didn't, it's not even like you came back to it later and noticed. It's just like right away makes no sense. It's like, what was I doing? So I know I know that feeling a little bit for sure. Oh, I don't want to do this collecting to a vec thing. It's fine. I don't need to change this. It's just not a big deal. I was gonna do a next and an unwrap and stuff because I knew split would always have a first element. This is just fine. It's not that big of a deal. We're not making this super performant. Okay. So let's do a what do I want? I think I want an async function called get upstream no, it's like get potentially cached response. And I think what we want to send here is the method, which I guess we're just like gonna let be whatever we feel like being. But we're gonna say you can cache posts because why not? Then what else do I need to make this request? I need the URL, which no, I'm gonna keep it typed here because I can. And then the body, headers, and then the body. Oh, I don't actually have a body here because these were all gets. Okay, yeah. Headers is a header map. And then body is a body. We don't know what body is. And that's gonna be interesting. So I can make it unique. I can make it over body, so we don't really care about what type that is. And so, am I gonna wanna make a hash key, basically, right? That's something of method, URI, header map, and body. Like all of those together are gonna make my cache key. For how complex Rust is, it can be of love how simple Rust code can be. Sometimes it's just not the most straightforward stuff ever. Yeah, I do think that Rust code can be really simple, right? It just, you know, sometimes it takes a bit of love to get it to that simple state and stuff. But for sure. So here, I really think it's basically here, right? What it's gonna return to me. No, I want it to return just response, basically. It's just gonna return a response. And like this is just, yeah, okay. So it's a response that is a hyper response, and it has a URL. Box to save space 11 words to 1 word. Got it. As it's not accessed frequently. Yeah, okay. So then here, this can just be response. Response. Okay, so this is basically exactly the same. I really didn't change much at all. The only thing that's even slightly different is that now I have a place to do caching here. At least that's the idea. Okay, so let's pull in lazy static. I think we want lazy static here. Cargo, CD to cache. Cargo, add lazy static. Awesome. Okay, so lazy static is gonna give us a... Wait, can I mutate the things that are lazy static? Yeah, right? Because... no. There's no way I can mutate this later, right? I'll have to put it in something that lets me mutate it. Lazy static mutate hash map. Yeah, and mutex does not live long enough from. Yeah. Yep, so I'm just gonna need to mutex of my hash map, which I can do. Mutex the world, exactly, right? Just throw mutexes around. Mutex, import mutex. Do I want a Tokyo mutex? Do I want... No, I don't want to hold this over in a waypoint ever. And it's definitely not that, but that's okay. Yeah, with Clippy getting better and better, every once in a while I'll write a huge chunk of something, and Clippy's just like, "Oh yeah, do you want to do this for us?" Yeah, I love that. That one's amazing. Like I had, yeah, which wasn't quite as big, but like the calling clone in a closure versus cloned, it's just nice when it just fixes everything for me. Okay, so my like type hash key, I think at the moment is just gonna be a thing like this where it's just method and URI and header map, and body. Oh, ooh. This means this would be a generic type. Okay. Interesting. That means that's not gonna work well. So I could just say you can't cache things that have a body. That's like definitely not unreasonable. Um, this is not from the header. I don't know if I want body here. So like really what I would do is just do body, right? Send body. Um, so like where is this where wheres go? Yep. Okay. So anybody that we can give to request. So that just worked. No, giving it body was helpful. Oh. Uh, not satisfied. Dot as bytes. Body here returns. Oh. Because this just says of any body as well, right? I need to make it any of these. Consider dereferencing here. Okay, let's try dereferencing here. Body returns. Yeah, okay. Well, what if I just make this take a reference to body? I don't need the body. I just need a reference to body. Uh, oh man, without an explicit lifetime can't be used here. That's unfortunate. For any A reference to A. Haha, I knew how to fix that one. Where for any A, the reference of A. Woohoo! But I really don't know if this is gonna be what I want. I don't really know if I like body being here at all. Oh, and this is gonna be our cache. And it's from. No, I don't want cache key to have body. Like if you're sending a body, we're not caching it. That's my rules. I made them up, but I like them. I also don't think I want full headers. Like I'm gonna want to pull out specific headers or something, I think. Yeah, we're gonna want to think about headers. What if we just don't do headers at the moment? And then to a string, is that what I'm caching? What if I just do a vec of U8s? Just any a thing of bytes, basically. Cool. Okay, let cache equals cache dot lock. Done unwrap? Oh, because we're using standard mutex, right? Not parking lot mutex or something that can't panic. Guess we're just gonna deal with that at the moment or by unwrapping. Let cached response is this is not copy. Wow, it's not. That's crazy. I assumed it was copy. I guess because it could have a string underneath it. Interesting. Yeah, okay. Uh, oh, I guess I want it to just be a cache of these. It's a cache of responses. Yeah. Um, dot to owned. Expected response found this. Yeah. The type constructed contains response due to types of the arguments passed. Thanks. that, like, thank you. Is response not clone? Yeah, it does not clone. Um, so but I need to clone it. Um, and what's decoder here? Response decoder. Yeah, we're like the body. Yeah. Um, hyper response. Yeah, okay. So I guess what I really want to do is like just cache a hyper response. So not this, just a hyper. Oh, hyper though. I don't want hyper. If anything, I want like HTTP response. Response of a vec of U8s. Yep. Uh, into can't convert from. Okay. Well, so wait. A clone. Can I clone it? Found a reference. Let x equal response.clone. What's the type of x? Yeah, interesting. HTTP response. Yeah, which kind of makes sense. But I would have expected it to be clone if T was clone. Create a new builder style object to manufacture in response. Oh. Got it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense though. That's the builder style that I was actually looking for earlier. Love that. Um, this is definitely what I want to cache for sure. Oh wait, is there a... There we go. This. Oh yeah, it's like I don't know how to do that. Yeah, because my fallback can't really be generic over the body here. Oh yeah, no, it can be that. It just can't be the where. The where is what was bad. Yeah, I know that's not satisfied. Um, this is where I'm saying where I can. Yeah, okay. So let. Do I need body here at all? Why do I need body here? Oh, because I need to send it along. Yes. Okay. Body equals request up body dot request dot bytes body dot bytes. Yeah, because I just don't know what type of body it is. It could be anything. Axum, fallback, get body bytes. Bytes as an instructor, of course, of course. Bytes is a bytes extractor. On bytes, yeah, okay, so this is actually body as some bytes. This cache key, no, it can still return that. That's fine. I like that. Type inside must be known. Oh, cool. Can't infer type for parameter body. Oh, yeah, it's not needed anymore. Nice. Yep, don't need that. Probably don't even need that. Uh, Open URI. That. URL, URI. Basically the same thing. Ooh, okay, so if this might be a time when I want debug handler. Because now I think it's the fact that it doesn't like these. Axum debug handler. I have to remember how exactly this works. I think I have to add Axum macros. Cargo add Axum macros. And then you just throw this on it. And cargo build. Oh, you can spell. Okay. Handler is not implemented for all these stuff. Oh, okay. They didn't even know what I was talking about with debug handler. Axum, macros, debug handler. Try again. Future returned by proxy request is not sent. Okay. The proxy returned by proxy request is not sent. Oh, am I holding a cache over a wait point, which is like exactly what I said I wasn't gonna do? Drop the cache. That might have been the issue. Oh wow, it wasn't. Caches later drop on line 120. No. No. No, I drop it here. Oh, wait a second. Oh, 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 oh. Um, I wasn't paying attention to what this code did at all. I thought I was actually doing caching correctly. Was not. Okay. Let response equals HTTP response builder. Headers. What? Um, uh, and so does this just, it returns a builder. Oh, I see. It's just mad about that because it doesn't know what's going on there. Okay. Oh, dot body as response dot body dot clone. I don't know if that's what that wants, but it's fine. Mutable. For key comma value in response headers. Headers ref. What? Oh. Oh, body here consumes it. Okay, got it. I didn't realize that. Okay, perfect. And then let response no equals, yeah, something like that. Oh, cached response. So if we have a cached response, cached, cached, not status. Cached dot headers. Oh, okay. Cached dot headers. That makes more sense. Dot iter. And then this is cache dot body dot close. Cool. Okay, so I returned though an HTTP response. Is that not what this wants? Oh. Bytes. Found vec of u8. No, let's make this a bytes. Yeah, okay. So then this is a origin response. Like this is one I just got. So then let's make let response equals, yep. Okay, we got a client, we make our response, we set the status there, we set a single header, which is a little silly, but that's okay. For that, yep. Let response equals response dot body origin response bytes. Oh wait, could not get bytes from body, could not build response. So this is just bytes. Wait. Response dot body. Is not satisfied. Of course not. I might have a debug handler on it though still, so this might give me better information. Status code header map. Oh, reference to bytes. It needs a full bytes. Why is it a reference to bytes? Oh yeah, okay. Into body. There we go. Needed the actual bytes. Okay. I think it's now time to test it. Okay, pull this up, head over to here, hit the home page first just to check everything out. That seems to be working. And if we hit slow, it'll take a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Let's check this. Actually, let's open this up too. Get some network tab. Refresh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're never hitting our cache, which is like, okay, not bad. Well, it is bad, but we'll figure it out. Okay, let's add some tracing so I can see what's going on here. Cool, we have that set up. So let's tracing instrument skip body. Yep, okay. That should have recompiled. And I was hoping it was gonna give us that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that just isn't coming out. I'm not getting anything. Tracing format init. So what does this do based on the value of rust log? Okay. Rust log equals info, bang bang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That didn't seem like it did anything. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we're definitely not getting a log from that. Get potentially cached response. Yeah, okay. Info bang. Request a URL. That's fine. Grab it from tracing. Let's see if that. If we ever see that. Oh, cool, 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 cool. Yep. So we definitely see it. We have some headers. Oh yeah, these headers are never gonna, well, oh, we do have a cache control max age of 0 in these headers, so like, you know. Headers, host, connection, yeah, okay, yep, yep, okay, so like, what's our, when do we cache? Method and URL. That feels like it should have matched. URL is a URI here. I wonder if they just don't match super well. Oh, no, I just never put anything in my cache. I never do that. Rust log equals trace. I thought these went by info by default. Unless overridden, a span with an info level will be generated. So a trace could be what I want. You don't ever. Well, that's not how you spell cache, but that's okay. Oh. You don't ever cache. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I don't think I need rust log equals trace because these default to info. But yeah, I actually need to freaking put the thing in the cache, right? That would actually help out quite a bit, it turns out. So if we got down here, yeah, I guess I do want to do that again. Let mutable cache, cache insert. Oh, I may need to make it twice. Yeah, that's fair. I did actually check the default there, Opus, but thank you for having my back. Um, um, yeah, I guess I wanna let origin bytes equals this. And then this is origin bytes. Um, so like I really want this. I can't extract that to a function? You're not gonna give me extract to function? Oh, come on. Oh, 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 Rust Analyzer. How dare you? Okay. Function, uh, HTTP response from request response. Yeah, that'll work. And actually, I only want a reference to this so that I can call it twice. Can I find unwrap an opaque typo? Async. Oh, dot await. Dot unwrap. Yeah, so I don't want that. I guess, body. I guess I can just do this. And then this just does body. That's totally unnecessary. This just is body. And then this can be okay. Let response to cache equals response to cache, no map error. Yeah, well, oh, well, that's just because I have this unwrapping, don't I? Yeah. I have might, so like, why am I not using it more? Into diagnostic. Oh, I don't need that at the end because yep. Oh wait, map error. Yeah, sure, that'll work. We don't need to clone it. And then we do let response equals the same thing. And just do that there. This clone. No. Did I? Origin response. Oh, it gets moved to call bytes. Yeah, it does. Okay. So this shouldn't take in this. This should just take in status. As a status code of some kind. And headers as a header map. Yep. And it can be a reference to a header map, and it can be a reference to a status code. I don't need that. And sure, if it doesn't need to be async, it doesn't need to be async. Status. Okay, so this is actually a little silly because all I'm gonna do is like this is just like origin response dot status. Let origin status. Yep, and let origin headers. status and origin headers. No awaiting. I don't even know if there's a map error. Yep, okay, there is. Okay, this one gets a clone. Hopefully we can clone bytes. Yay, we can. Okay. I think we're actually putting stuff in our cache finally. This one should not be cached because it's the first time since recompiling. 5, there we go. And moment of truth. Oh, look at that. That's an immediate page. That's an immediate page and no changes to the cache. That's a CDN. I think that's enough to say that's basically a CDN. I like it. Add basic caching. Oops. Wrong thing at the end there. Add basic caching. Awesome. Okay. Let's take a look. So this is just in-memory caching. We'll make it fancier later. And this is like wrong HTTP response from parts is going to be what we call this. Status headers body. Yeah, then you just make a thingy like that. What's going on here? This is just old code that I didn't clean up. Yeah, so response to cache, we make a response to throw it in the cache. Love that. And then because this is already, if it wasn't cached. If it was cached, we already did something different up here. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah, so we just cloned the body because we can. We just can't clone the whole response. That's so interesting. Oh, I can use this though. I can do let response equals from parts. It's not this though. I want this to be cached. Dot status. This is cached. Dot headers. It doesn't need a clone there because it just doesn't. We'll map this error. And then this to that, we just don't need. Oh, this is cached, yeah. Cached dot body. This is going to reference and then UID reference. Okay. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, we can use the same helpers for more things now. If there is a cached response, we take it from parts and make a new response. Or else we request the thing from the origin, we grab a few origin thingies, and we make the responses. Awesome. Clean up. Let's give this a push. Not sure why the YubiKey didn't want to work. Let's try that again. Oh, I didn't want to do the cleanup again. I wanted the push again. Oh no. I'm not actually sure what it didn't like about that though. Okay, it rebased me. Can't read current. What? Uh-oh. Okay, it just didn't. That was weird. Okay, yep, that was a little weird. Okay, so we've got a caching proxy ready to go. It listens for a specific domain, in this case slow.coreyja.test. It knows to send those to localhost 3000. And that's about it, right? So it takes in the request, it gets a request, knows the URL, the host, the headers, the methods, bytes, all of that stuff. If it isn't going to our domain, we just throw it away, throw it as an error. We go to try to make the cached response. We build the URL and everything that we want to hit. We maybe make the cached response. So what this does is it tries to look into cache. It's like, hey, do we have it cached? If we don't have it cached, or if we do have it cached, we just return it. Nice and easy. If we don't have it cached, we go to the origin to get it, and then we cache that response and return it to the client. All nice and good to go. So let's write up a little doc for next steps, I think, and I think we're gonna wrap up today. Next steps. So move the cache from in memory to the file system. We're going to want to do that. Move the config from constants to a file slash envar. Allow for multiple sites to be proxied. Right now we're limited to one. I would like to change that. And then we're gonna need to do some deploys. Deploy a single node, and then eventually we'll deploy multiple nodes. Deploy multiple nodes, and then after that we're gonna add the sharing bit of knowledge about things this to be hashed between nodes. I like Copilot there. And I think that's about all we need to do. There definitely will be more details as we get going, but I think that's about it. And I think we're gonna call it a day there. We got a really good stuff going. We have cache as a name. Thank you so much, TCP Stream, for the awesome name, and thanks for hanging out. And so yeah, we got the cache. It can now accept requests and cache them, and it now makes my server that used to take 5 seconds about instantaneous. It's awesome and it's great, and we'll just work on deploying it and productionizing it and all that kind of stuff next time. So thank you all for coming along and hanging out with me. I always have a lot of fun when there's people coming and hanging out, so thank you all, and thank you all for the love on YouTube. I've been getting a lot of views over there, so I will get this recorded and uploaded there, and if you're seeing it on YouTube, thanks so much, and give me a thumbs up and a subscribe. And with that, I think we will wrap up for today. Thanks everyone for coming along and hanging out with me, and I'm gonna get out of here.